I'm Kristen and welcome to this daily pregnancy stretch routine that you can do every single day to help relieve symptoms throughout your pregnancy and help you sleep better at night. I find these to be my favorite go-to stretches that I've been doing every single day, and I hope you enjoy them too. Just remember that every day in your pregnancy is a different day. One day you might have a lower backache, one day you might have heartburn, one day you just might not sleep well. So just always be patient with yourself. Do this routine whenever you feel the need. If you're feeling really stiff in the morning, go ahead and do this. If you're finding it difficult to sleep at night, do this before bed. All right, let's begin from a seated position. Just follow me. We're just gonna start by rolling those shoulders up to your ears and relax them down and back. And again, roll those shoulders up to your ears and relax them down and back. Just take a deep breath in through your nose and out through pursed lips. Let any tension just start melting away. Setting those shoulders down and back. Let's bring the soles of your feet together, hands onto your ankles. I just want you to hinge forward at the hips, pressing your knees out with your elbows. When you can't go any further, round through the spine and start to pull away from your ankles, finding a C curve through the spine, feeling that lovely stretch through the back straight away. Then sitting back up tall onto your sit bones. Go ahead and flow through this movement, hinging forward, rounding the spine, and then sitting up tall on your sit bones. Just gonna get a nice stretch throughout the back here. We're gonna be opening up through the hips, through the inner thighs gently, and we'll get a little bit deeper into those in a moment. Let's just do one more in this direction. And then go ahead and reverse it. So you're going to find that C curve first, then reach forward, flattening the back and coming up tall with that flat back. Let's go ahead and do one more. And then from your seated position, let's just extend one leg out to the side. You'll take your opposite hand and reach up and over to your toes. So we're just opening up through the side rib cage, opening up side body here. Now you might be able to go even further, but try not to force this. Only go to about 70% here. When we're not pregnant, I always say to go to about 80%, but just relax that top shoulder. Breathe into it here. Feel the rib cage expand. And then take this top hand, place it behind your hip, and then go ahead and press yourself up, coming into this gentle extension, and then a gentle stretch through the belly, pushing those hips forward. And then go ahead and release those hips down. We're gonna take that other leg out to the other corner of your mat now. And we're just going to walk your hands forward for a little straddle stretch. So here we get into those inner thighs a little bit more. So go to wherever feels most comfortable for you. Just try and keep your knees pointing up to the ceiling. You might find that you're able to get your forearms down onto the floor. And just breathe into it here. Remember, we're not forcing anything. We're just easing out tension. Slowing your breath down. Bringing it back to your Pilates breath when you ever forget to breathe. In through the nose and out through pursed lips. I always like to breathe into the muscles that I feel that I'm stretching. So here I'd be focusing on sending my breath into those inner thighs and hips. And then slowly push yourself back up. This time we're going to bend the other knee in so you can reach your hand up and over to your toe. Again, just opening up through the rib cage, through that side body, and do your best to relax that top shoulder. It will tend to creep up to your ears, so think about drawing it down and using those lats to draw it down, even though you're opening up through the ribs. So just bringing that gentle flexion into your spine. Now we're going to take that top hand, place it behind your hip, lift the hips up, gentle extension. Just pressing the hips forward, taking the eye line up to the ceiling. A little stretch through the belly. If you're having any round ligament pain, ease off this one as you might feel a little bit too much of a pull. And slowly release it down. So from here, you can keep that leg extended. Just cross that foot over your opposite knee here, and we'll slide in for a glute stretch. Quite nice to do your glute stretches from a seated position. Might just be a bit more comfortable and keeps you upright a little bit more. So if you're having heartburn today, for example, anything that's going to take your head a little bit lower, then the rest of your body's not going to feel too good. So of course, you can always skip through those stretches. Taking that chest and eye line up to the ceiling. You can either hold the stretch still or give it a little rock side to side if you feel a spot that feels extra tight. Breathe into it. And then just slide that leg out and change to the other leg. Just be mindful not to sink into your shoulders. Think about pressing out of them. We never want to create more tension while we're stretching. It's always about letting it ease off. Nice deep breath in and out. Make sure you keep breathing. Maybe taking the chest and eye line up to the ceiling now to deepen through the stretch. And when you're ready, we're going to release this stretch and then sweep those legs around. Take your time. We're going to come into 4-point kneeling here. So just make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. We're going to round the spine, chin to chest, draw those shoulder blades apart. And then you're going to slowly release, take it through neutral, and if you feel good, a very small extension. Just taking the eye line to look to the top of the mat, not necessarily forward or up to the ceiling at all, just a very gentle extension if you want to. So go ahead and round the spine and release to neutral or maybe just a little tiny extension. And we'll do one more just like this before we start to circle this movement. So now I want you to try to circle the ribcage around as you move through your cat and cow. Let's do 4 circles around to the right. And then reverse it to the left. Feel like you're hugging baby in as you round the spine. And then once you finish that last one, come back into your neutral position. I want you to look towards your hips, so look back over your shoulder and then to the other side. So we're just trying to almost cinch the waistline a tiny little bit. Stretching out through the lower back gently here. Like you're a puppy dog wagging your tail. Bringing it back through center. Walking those hands forward, we come into our puppy dog stretch. Now this might not be for everyone, so if you don't feel like this one's going to be right for you, sit back into a child's pose and we'll join you in a moment. But if you're here, do your best to keep your hips over your knees. Let your chest just release down to the floor. You'll feel a nice little stretch for the shoulder blades, the opening to the chest, lengthening out through the belly, maybe through the triceps as well if they're tight. And then to deepen that stretch, just look forward to your fingertips. And then carefully lift those hips up to walk your hands back. Take the knees nice and wide. Sit yourself back into your child's pose. So if you're still in child's pose, just continue to breathe. Just really release into it here. And then just to open up a little bit more through the hips, we can keep those forearms down and just sort of slide the shins and knees out to the side to come into a little froggy position here. Again, if this is too much for you, stay in that child's pose. And just hover here. So this is that last time that we're gonna really focus on opening up and releasing through the abductors. Now this one might be a little tight, so we're just gonna hang out here for a few moments to just slowly let the muscles release. Slow your breath down. And then when you're ready, we're gonna slowly push ourselves back up. Take your time. You might have really sunken into that stretch. Then we're gonna come up to our knees. Let's step one foot forward. And then we're gonna sink the hips forward, releasing through that hip flexor. Hands are gonna sweep up to the ceiling, and then we're gonna release out of that stretch and circle those arms behind you. So we're gonna get a nice hip flexor stretch. We're just gonna be moving in and out of it here. Opening up to the chest, the shoulders. Let's just do one more. Bring it forward. Maybe that opposite hand can come down to the floor and you can press that knee out to the side a little bit to open up that glute one last time. Release it. Extend the front leg. Hands can stay on the mat as you send those hips back. Hamstring stretch here, or if you want to come up higher, your hands, if it feels like too much of a pull, hands can come up to your thigh. Then I want you to slide this front foot back, and then I want you to try to put all of your weight onto the ball of your foot. So you're bringing all of that weight onto this front foot, and you can kind of just hover off that back knee. But we're getting a calf stretch here. It's going to be into the lower point of your calf. Calves can get quite tight as well. You might have even noticed your calves cramping up in the middle of the night. So good calf stretch and some extra potassium. Have a banana. That will also help if you are experiencing that. And then come back to kneeling. We're gonna change legs. This time step the other foot forward. As we drop forward into that hip flexor stretch, hands reach forward. They circle back. Reaching forward and circling back. Let's just do about 2 more here. Opposite hand to foot down to the floor. Same hand as knee. Press that knee out to the side, opening up through that hip. Bring it back through center. We're gonna extend that front leg as you send the hips back. Try and pull the hip back so you square off the hips. Hands can either stay on the mat or come up to your thigh or hips, wherever is most comfortable. If you had blocks, you could also hold on to some blocks. But to make it as easy as possible for you, you don't need much to make sure that you feel good every single day. Forward, maybe sinking into that stretch just a little bit more. And then we're gonna slide that foot in. So now you can probably see it a bit better, but we're going to get all that weight onto the ball of the foot, trying to get the heel down. Just shift the weight around till you feel, ooh, there's my calf muscle. You feel that stretch. You are finding the calves to be extremely tight, perhaps standing on a step, ball of the foot on the edge of the step, letting your heel drop down. That will also be really nice as well, just letting gravity do all the work. And when you're ready, we're just going to release and come back to a seated position. Let's just finish here with your hands by your sides, just rounding through the spine and sweeping those hands behind you, lifting the chest and eye line up to where the ceiling meets the wall. So we're just finding forward flexion and extension. Just bringing our body back through its center. Bringing it back through center. Let's pop one hand on your heart, one hand onto your belly. Just take this moment to connect with your baby. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me for that stretch. Let me know how you got on in the comments below. And remember, you can join me on all of my prenatal workouts throughout your pregnancy and beyond. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a lovely rest of your day.